Hey, attention all new realtors to this week's Realtors Tip. This is Adam Ashba, president and realtor of Ashmont Realty. And today we're going to talk about lockboxes, realtor lockboxes, that is, and the basics of them and the different types. I know this sounds a little elementary, but nothing is worse than showing up to a showing with a client and you don't even know how to operate a lockbox to get the key. So stay with us. We're going to talk a little bit about realtor lockboxes for new agents right after this. All right, guys. Well, let's talk about lockboxes. Now, a couple of things. There's a couple different main types of lockboxes, and we're going to go through those here in a second. And but a lockbox in layman's term is basically a metal container of sorts that holds a key to a property. Now, that key can be lockbox can be held in many different areas of the house. Sometimes and primarily they're on the front door of a house. Sometimes they're on the back door. Sometimes they're on a fence or a light post. So the one way that you'll know where to find this lockbox to start with is you'll get that information from the listing agent. Selling instructions. We won't cover that today, but the realtor who is selling the property will give you instructions how to locate that particular lockbox. It's not always on the front door. Don't expect that. So one thing that I do before I go out to show a home is I'll write that down or put it in my cell phone about where to find, per property, I guess, where that lockbox is located. So as I approach the house and pull up, I can jump out and quickly find the lockbox and get it unlocked, especially if the weather's cold. You don't want your clients sitting outside. So let's talk about the different types of lockboxes. There's two main types, okay? There's a mechanical lockbox, and then the second type is a super key lockbox that is issued by your local board of realtors. So let's talk about the mechanical lockboxes, okay? Let's start there first. I would say, I don't have the statistics, but probably 80% of all your listings in 2021 will have what's called a super key. And then there's the remaining amount is going to be mechanical. Okay, so let me show you. We're going to jump right on Google or google.com, and I'm going to show you the different types of lockboxes that are out there and get yourself familiar with each one. So let's go ahead and jump to Google here and let's take a look. All right. So as you can see, some of these are very common ones that you'll see. This one here, this Master Lock. Now, if you notice, this is on Amazon.com. You can buy these on Amazon. All right. This is a very popular lockbox. As you can see, the key's stored inside, and there's basically a little dial here. Okay. These are very popular. And how to access these. I know this sounds elementary, but hear me out. I want all of our agents to be smarter than most here. But you just type. What you're going to do is just roll the dial to the 4-digit code. Now, again, where do you get that 4-digit code? The agent that has the listing will give that to you. Okay. Here's some that are. You see these on occasion, no matter what market you're in. Again, these are smaller, not quite as sturdy, but again, they have 4-digit code on it that you just kind of roll. Those are a lot like the old bike chains that we would use as kids. Here's one. There are some that are push button. Okay, get a close up there. These are push button. So if you notice, each little button, just like on a cell phone, no different. Now, these could have 2 to 4 digit codes. Sometimes it'll be letters. If you notice, just like on a cell phone, the number 2 has ABC on it. So they could have it as a, instead of a number, it could be spell out something. If we're in Ohio, it could be 6446, for example. Okay. Let's go look at some other ones. This is an electronic one that you type your code in, and then it'll unlock. So this one would have batteries operated to it. Those aren't very common in our market. Here's another one. This is more of a permanent one. You might get these on investment properties, but again, it'll give you a 4-digit code. You type your code in, and it'll come out for you there. Okay. So now those, I think that kind of covers the majority of it. I think that's about it. So now let's jump out of here. All right. So let's talk about the question that I get a lot. And this is super keys. Now, super keys came out, it's been over 10 years now, 10, 15 years. If you know the exact number, let me know in the comments below. But these came out at least a decade ago. And they basically, these work via Bluetooth. Now, the cool thing is they work off your cell phone. There's many different advantages with the super key. And one of them is it keeps track of everyone that accesses your home via the Bluetooth. It'll tell you what time they entered, what time they left. Now, the only downfall on the super key, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about the super key, is not every agent has access to the super key. The super key, the super key is a membership that you have to pay on top of your normal board dues to have access to this service. Okay, so if you are a buyer's agent and never use, you never have a listing ever in your life, you still have to pay to have this service. Now, let's go ahead and dive into the service and how that works. Now, each market's a little different. So I'm going to go into, we're going to talk a little bit about the Central Ohio market and the Columbus Board of Realtors and how that process works a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that. Let me share the screen. All right. So I don't know. Okay, guys. So I am on the Columbus Board of Realtors webpage. If you are, no matter what market you're in and whatever, area that you're in, if you're in Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Orlando, Vegas, check with your local board of realtors because they're going to have this information about their electronic key boxes. Now, each market has their own control over their key boxes. So as I go over this information, your cell phone app does not work in, for example, if I'm in Columbus, Ohio, I cannot go to Los Angeles, California and access their key boxes, even though I'm a realtor. And even though I pay for the subscription, okay? So if you are an agent that sells in different markets, let's use Ohio, for example. Say you're in Columbus and you sell homes in Cincinnati. You sell homes in Cleveland, right? You will have to have access to the key boxes for each of the market, okay? Which means you're going to have to contact and pay an additional fee to be a member of that MLS and have access to it. Okay, if you do not have access to the super key in that market, you will have to contact the listing agent and make arrangements a way to access the property, which means maybe the seller's agent might have to come and let you in, but just be conscientious about it. They're busy too. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, this is in the Columbus Board of Realtors. This is just some information about accessing the key box. Okay. There's usually a person designated to be in charge of the key boxes, as well as scheduling appointments, and that was common pre-COVID. So please reach out. So example, Sadie Noble is the contact at the Columbus Board of Realtors. You can see her name there. You would contact her to help you onboard on this process. Okay. There's a special form that you have to fill out, as well as a fee to gain access. But some of the cool things about this is right here, as you can see, this is what we call a Supra key lockbox. Supra is the manufacturer. That doesn't have anything to do with the Board of Realtors specifically, but Supra is the manufacturer. These are all battery powered. Okay. And they basically communicate through your cell phone. And these are very large. I mean, they're probably about this big. I mean, you can see here, they're 8 inches tall and about 3 inches wide. They're heavy, very durable, very secure for your clients. Okay. All right. Now, again, you'll have to contact your Board of Realtors to get onboarded to be able to access these. Now, you might say, well, how do you open these things? I don't see any buttons or anything. Well, right here. Years ago, you'd have to use this little thing that you carried around, looked like a beeper, but I'm glad we got rid of those. So now it's all done. It's an app that is on your phone. It's on iOS, Apple, as well as Android devices. It's really neat. It connects through Bluetooth. So it's mobile driven, which we love that at Ashmont Realty, obviously. And you can access. You basically type in a code that's given to you when you onboard with the division of with the Columbus Board of Realtors. In this example, they'll give you a code. So when you pull up the app, you type in your code, no different than a PIN number or something on an ATM. So they know that you are who you are. And then that Bluetooth will connect. So the Bluetooth on your phone will connect to that Super key box. Okay. Now, the next question I get all the time is, well, where's the key come out? How does that work? Once your cell phone communicates with with the Supra box, and they will show this to you when you get onboarded. You can actually feel and touch and the whole 9 yards, because sometimes that's always easier to learn. You're going to push up underneath the bottom of the Supra key. You're going to push up underneath it. And when you push up, it's going to disengage the lock and your key will slide right out in a little black metal container. And then when you're done, you put the key in and then shove it back up inside the Supra key. So it's pretty handy. Very, pretty easy to use. I think some of the issues that you can run into is, make sure your Bluetooth is turned on your cell phone. These are electronic devices. I've had it where if it's cold, the battery and the Supra key is dead. If you run into issues like that, please contact the listing agent immediately, because if you're having issues, other people will. But those are basically Realtor Lockbox basics. Okay, I know it sounds elementary, but I do want to go through that with people, because nothing's worse than getting a call as a broker or a mentor and with an agent that's stuck in front of a house. They can't get the lockbox unlocked because they don't know how to operate it. So I hope that helps everybody. If you have any questions, please comment below. I answer those comments. You can DM me on Facebook or email me directly at adamashpa@ashmontrealty.com, or text me as well at 614-519-5265. So again, Realtor Lockbox basics. I hope that helps everybody, and have a great rest of your day.